Good morning. We're going to do a balance on the gut and digestion, and we'll be chatting about the immune system the whole way through as well. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I was actually requested to do a gut and digestion video and how it was connected to the immune system, so I thought this was a good opportunity. The person we're doing here has really been sick for about 2 weeks, only about 5 hours sleep a night, getting really exhausted, belly still really hasn't recovered, lots of nausea, has been taking the occasional probiotic, and in the background has adrenal and thyroid issues. So in Chinese medicine, the adrenals, thyroid, immune system are all connected, so when one's overloaded, the others play up. So it's no surprise that the belly is taking some time to recover. So what we're going to do, firstly, is check the major organs associated with the gut. So the first one I'm going to check is Pec Major Clavicular. It's on the inside of the shoulders. Hold up for me. Okay. And hold up for me. Okay. So that's the stomach meridian in kinesiology terminology. There's a neurolymphatic point on the left side of the rib cage that sends lymph to and from the stomach. We run the stomach meridian. So the stomach meridian runs from head to foot. And 3 seems to be about a perfect number for me. And then what I'm going to do is the ESR points, so the emotional stress release points on the forehead. They're halfway between the eyebrows and the forehead, and they send blood supply to the stomach. They also send blood supply to the frontal cortex, so ESR stands for emotional stress release. And they're pulsing, which is nice. That means blood's come forward quite easily. So let's recheck the Pec Major Clavicular. Hold, beautiful, and hold. Okay, next muscle we're going to do is the quadriceps. So this one relates to small intestine energy. Bend the leg, hold up for me. Bend the leg, hold up for me. Okay, so not as optimal as it could be. So this is lengthen to strengthen, the old, we're stretching the spindle cells. So that's just purely more for muscles. These are the neurolymphatic points for the quadratus. No, what is it? Quadriceps, for the quadriceps. And same with these little spots on the inside of the rib cage and around that diaphragm area. And again, hold and hold. Beautiful. Okay, next one I'm going to check is large intestine. So the large intestine muscles are fascia lata, and we've also got the quadratus lumborum in the lower spine. So hold up, I'm pushing down and in, that's perfect. Hold up, I'm pushing down and in, that's good, good, good. Hold on to both sides. Hold out, I'm pushing towards the left. Yeah, that's not working. Hold out, I'm pulling to the right. It's funny because in Touch for Health, the fascia lata is the first muscle that we would check with large intestine, and it didn't show up at all. So quadratus lumborum, I suppose that makes sense if that muscle's weak, if you've had gut pain for a fortnight, because the nerves would be really raw. So the nerve supply to the lower back wouldn't be fantastic. So maybe it's more a physical, localized. Anyway, just interesting. Because in my earlier days, I wouldn't even gone on to checking quadratus lumborum. Hold both out. Hold, beautiful. And hold, lovely. So that's stomach, small intestine, large intestine. Now we're going to do the extra ones, the gallbladder, the liver, the pancreas. So gallbladder, hold, that's anterior deltoid, hold, that's good. Liver, there's 4 liver tests. Hold, I'm going back. Hold up, I'm going down. Yeah, not so optimal on the left. On the right. Hold, I'm going back. Hold up, I'm going down. Yeah, right, so only that second one over there. In N.O.T terminology, that one is to do with the liver not coping with fats and proteins. And I suppose if your body's been dealing with bugs for a few weeks, maybe it's not digesting as well as it should. Liver meridian. And again, hold up, beautiful. So pancreas, the latissimus dorsi muscle, it's on this back. So what we want to do, pull out, don't let me, no, that's good. Hold in, don't let me pull out. That's really not too bad. Felt about 95%, so I'll just give it a little bit of a tweaking. Have I missed any digestive tract organs? That's sort of the main ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Boom, ba boom. Cool. And because there's a thyroid and adrenal issues going on in the background, we'll check the adrenals via the flexor hallucis longus. Hold up for me. Oh, okay. Hold up for me. So that's not optimal. And we'll check the thyroid as well. So hold back, don't let me lift forward. Yeah, right. So simultaneously as the gut's playing up, the thyroid and adrenals have taken a bit of a hit as well. So firstly, let's pick up the thyroid. Thyroid has an overall effect on the digestive tract, so it's not surprising. And also a lot of the time when we're trying to deal with something immune system wise, our thyroid takes a back seat because thyroid's about long-term metabolism. If you're fighting an infection now, it's not really about long-term survival. It's about what's in the here and now. So the thyroid can go, I'll chillax, relax, see me when you need me. You know. Oh, yeah, it goes meh. Hold. Okay. Ooh, nice toenails. Okay. Breathe in, breathe out and push. And breathe in, breathe out and push. Breathe in, breathe out and push. Okay, and hold, yeah. So that's the adrenals and the thyroid's up and running. So the next part we've got to get into then is the immune system. So there's core immune system points. These ones are, they're from the process N.O.T, neural organizational technique. That's the thymus gland, thymus chakra. What are those? They're the atlas points, aren't they? I think that's actually from N.O.T as well. Hold, hold, hold. Well, maybe it's from Touch for Health. You would have learnt those little guys. Hold. In to do with allergies, intolerances. Yeah.
Or do they use these points here for...
Oh, yeah, right, the parotids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they ring a bell too.
And it's for food testing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, more an applied kinesiology thing when you've actually got the food in the jar and that sort of thing, putting it up next to the body.
We did that in Touch for Health. Slightly.
Yeah.
Everyone tested chocolate.
Hold. So what we've done is just woken up those immune system points so that they're more up and running. Now, because it's been 2 weeks, I'll also make sure there's no big stresses associated with them. I might check celestial circuit. And hold. Okay. So that's a little bit out of whack. Okay, so the left side's out, which means it's the caring, nurturing side that's quite exhausted. And that's not a surprise because the whole family's been sick. 2 kids and the hubby. So you can imagine she's the bum, she's exhausted. No wonder her thyroid's gone AWOL. So this is just a process called the BEST technique. It's a bioenergetic reset process. Helps to reset our center of gravity. And hold. Beautiful. Okay. What about survival switching? Hold. 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 No. Okay, good. So now we can probably get into the immune system. Right. It's like all our presets. So now what I'm going to do, because it's been maybe 18 months since we've done a balance, So I'm going to start from the beginning and basically check all the core things to do with the immune system. So firstly, I'm going to check in relation to microbiome degradation. So the microbiome is that part of the immune system we get from our mother. Very important. That's why they're now talking about that first 1,000 days of a child's life from conception through to 3 years old is so important, because everything we do with the bubby during that time affects the brain, the nervous system, not to mention the gut and the immune system. And because we've got so much autoimmunity and so many health issues with kids these days, it's just important to have a think about what we can do to really help to support that. So the microbiome, she's also had 4 lots of antibiotics in the last 3 months as well, combination of bronchitis, pharyngitis, laryngitis, all of that sort of thing, as well as the tummy. So no wonder the tummy upset the last few weeks. So what we're doing when we're tapping that in is basically getting the energy of the body to recognize what we want to shift. If the body doesn't know there's a problem with the microbiome, it's not going to do anything about it. If it thinks it's the best it can ever be, why would it change? So all we're doing when we're getting an unlock is finding that the body goes, oh, okay, there is something I can do about it. So it means that we can just start getting to deeper levels of health for the person. So microbiome degradation, recheck, hold, hold, hold. And there are very, very specific probiotics, not many, but a couple that have been found to actually improve the breadth and width and variety of the microbiome, which is really important. Next thing I'm going to check is in relation to biofilm and mucoid plaque. So the biofilm is a different layer of the gut. They're now looking at the fact that there's like 6 layers of the gut. The biofilm is underneath the microbiota and it's underneath the healthy layer of mucus. And if we've got it, because not everyone has it, but if we've got it, it can hold old infections. And those old infections can just sit in the gut and create low-level inflammation long term. And because the gut's so involved in immune system and autoimmunity and allergies and so many things start from the gut, that if we've got this biofilm, it can be one of the links to finding solutions for people's health. And the good thing is essential oils and herbs are the sort of things that really help to break down that biofilm and release those old infections so that the immune system can actually cope with them and deal with them. Oh yes, something I haven't actually told you about this one. One of the things I've found with people on long-term thyroid drugs is that the thymus gland seems to forget how to make new antibodies. I don't know why, but it seems to have something to do with the fact that because we're giving synthetic thyroid hormones, there must be something else the thyroid hormone that we make naturally does that the medication doesn't. Because I've been asking this really specifically lately with lots of my clients. So I'm sort of asking specifically in relation to the thymus gland and the ability to create new antibodies. I threw it in with someone the other day because if you had a look at their supplements for the immune system and then thought, why the heck are you still sick? Like that's literally what I thought. And I thought, well, maybe your thyroid, maybe your thymus gland's forgotten what it's doing. And sure enough, there was no energy in there whatsoever. It was really cool. And there's an energy mismatch. So I think one of the problems is these days that the thymus gland is really overloaded. So the thymus gland makes a lot of antibodies. So because our bodies are coming in contact with, say, genetically modified things, as well as, there's just lots. Our immune system, we're all traveling all over the world, so we're dealing with bugs that we never had to deal with when we lived on one continent. We've got new food supplies. We've got food supplies going from one continent to the next. So I think it's just different. It's more challenging for our immune systems these days. Not to mention all the chemicals. Hold. And maybe that's why vitamin C is one of the big things that often shows up for the thymus gland. Because, it's a fat and water-soluble antioxidant, so it helps to cleanse both, the blood and the fat.
Helps adrenals, liver, immune system, skin, healing.
Yeah, it's like it does a huge amount of stuff.
Cells, Krebs cycle.
Yeah, I tend to think that vitamin C, big doses can break down the biofilm as well.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure about that, but it often shows up when, you know, people are really sensitive, but that's one thing I know they can take.
Maybe it strengthens the secretory IgA.
Yeah, right. So what would that do?
That's the little immunoglobulins along the inside tract of the digestive system, that would, I guess, walk along where those mucoid plaques are.
Yeah. Nice. I like it. Next one I'm going to check is bacteria and bacterial particles. So overall, is there bacteria that's causing an issue? And once again, once things are out in the immune system, they tend to be out. So it's not a surprise to find a whole bunch of stuff going on. Yeah, and if there's, you know, the old bloating, belching, wind, flatulence, you know, it's often that combo that people come in complaining with. You know, quite often they've got SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIFO, small intestinal fungal overgrowth. So you can end up having this candida bacterially mess, especially after lots of antibiotics. And if we haven't actually taken enough probiotics, you know, and how much is enough? You know, it's sort of like studies are showing that we need a lot. You know, it doesn't just fix overnight.
I don't think there's any study to say that you can have too much probiotics. Like, no one's ever...
No, well, what would be the side effect? Yeah. Well, I think it's a numbers game, isn't it? If there's no space for them, they're just going to be shed through the body. Yeah, right. SIBO is actually showing up. Oh, excusez-moi. So SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. I've actually sworn a couple of times. Good on her. Yeah, and I tend to think, you know, the whole antibiotic resistant thing is such a huge problem these days. Actually, that probably needs to be on the list too, antibiotic resistance, somewhere up the top. You know, because it's the strongest, worst bugs that are the ones that are going to be the ones that flourish in there when we're having antibiotics, the ones we actually have trouble killing. And I always think about the fact that we're on this earth for 100 years. The bugs in there, they're only there for like 2 weeks to 3 months sort of thing. So whatever environment we're giving them in the gut, that's the health of those gut bugs. So if we've got a really unhealthy gut, you know, lots of alcohol, lots of sugar, lots of, you know, stodgy takeaway food and that sort of thing, you're not going to be getting the best variety of bugs in there. And except for Pinot Noir, of course. Beautiful. And chocolate. What sort of chocolate? Panna. Yeah, right, candida is showing up as well. So candida and candida particles. And hold. Right. So interesting, just sort of thinking about the symptoms with the nausea, because the liver didn't really show up. But because the stomach, small intestine, large intestine weren't really working properly, maybe it's the toxins being dumped into the gut, creating the nausea. Where's the vagus nerve?
Oh, through all of them?
Yeah.
And from the tongue, it reaches to every digestive organ, reaches up to the heart and even wraps around the cervix.
It's important.
So maybe it depends what type of nausea.
Yeah, right. And sometimes people put that nausea label on something when, yeah, well, I suppose if you're feeling nauseous, you're feeling nauseous. Yeah.
You know, like there's the nausea that feels better with food, or there's a nausea where you can't have food at all.
Yeah, right.
So better with food, I always relate to high acidic stomach.
Yeah.
And not better with food, I kind of relate to more liverish or maybe small intestine or...
Yeah, right. I've got SIRS on the list these days, so chronic inflammatory response syndrome. It's not showing up. Okay, so it seems to have been bacterial and candida. Parasites isn't showing up. Or protozoa.
There was a gastrobug going around.
Yep. Did any particular strains show up? Self and non-self DNA.
Strains I didn't know the names of.
Yeah, right, okay.
That's literally what I asked.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's happening more and more. So this is self and non-self DNA. So because we are literally asking the body to kill parts of itself, the body's having a hard time differentiating. So we need to say to the immune system, it's okay, go kill. Divide and conquer. Yeah, right. The T helper 1, 2, 3, 17 imbalance as well. So T helper 1s, when they're increased, more likely to be autoimmunity. T helper 2s increased, more likely to be allergic, inflammatory sort of things. T helper 3s are the little guys in the gut. They're supposed to be balancing T helper 1s and 2s. T helper 17s are regulatory, so they sort of do a bit of everything. Which side do they sit on the seesaw? They're not really, are they?
Yeah. They're on the bottom of the tripod, basically.
Yeah, right.
With
the T3s, yeah.
Basically.
And hold, 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 hold. Beautiful. Okay, hold. Is your tummy sensitive? It's not really tummy you're feeling. Okay. So what I might do from here, I'll just check viruses since I'm just over the page from it anyway. Viral and viral particles. Hold, 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 hold. Nice, that's not viral. Okay. So just to finish up, I thought I'd show you, there's a little technique you can use to, and this, I've just grabbed a few supplements to sort of to show you how you can use muscle testing to find out what might be best suited to the body with certain conditions. So, but you can imagine it comes down to the imagination and knowledge of the practitioner, as well as the quality of the supplements at hand. So, for example, what you might know is that you need to heal the gut lining. So you might need, say, glutamine and vitamin D. If you've got a poor quality glutamine, but that's the only one you've got, your body will say, yes, please give it to me. Whereas if you've got several good quality glutamines, it might be the cofactors in there that your body actually chooses and says, yep, I want that one, not that one. So with kinesiology, you can actually determine exactly which one is the best for this person at this time and what dose, which I think is pretty cool. So firstly, what I'm going to do is just ask any and all issues associated with the gut and the immune system, link them into double anterior deltoid. So I've asked the stress to be in these muscles here. Hold. So that's an unlock, which means that if I find a product that changes the energy, the muscles will change. If it doesn't, then the muscles won't change. So hold. So that one's a positive lock. I'll take it away again and hold. It's an unlock. Put it on there. Hold. It's a lock. So that's a product called Glutagenics. It reduces inflammation in the gut and helps to repair the gut lining. This one here. Hold. No, doesn't want that one. That's Detox. This one. Oops. Hold. Yep, likes that one. So that's GIT Immune Plus. So that's a glutamine and probiotic combination. Hold. Yep. So SB dysbiosis. So that one's specific for candida, fungus, that sort of thing. Hold. Yep. That's just glutamine. Hold. Oh, darn. No, that's the intensive care. That one actually helps to heal the microbiome, so not a priority. Hold. No, Probex. So that would be if it was IBS, so constipation, diarrhea, nausea because of all that, so it's not. So basically you can get a lock or an unlock depending on the energy of the body and what the body actually needs. So it means that we now have a few options, and so we'll just continue here, but thank you very much for your time.